Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I thought we would take something that has been already colored with marker and just show how to use colored pencils to amp it up. So this is part of a new series called From Flat to Fabulous. And as you can see right now, everything looks pretty flat. There's no definition. I just laid down one layer of color with some markers, and I mean, it's fine if this is how some people prefer to color, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But for my preference, I like to amp it up with a bunch of colored pencils to create some definition and just make things pop. So in this series, I'm just going to take certain components of a page and show you how to do that. So that way you can get some experience with different elements instead of just doing a whole page that takes like 45 minutes for you to sit through. So in this video, we're gonna focus on this little guy right here and just turn all of this into something that just pops off the page and you can watch the transformation. So in this video, we're going to use the Veggie Life coloring book. And if you haven't seen this book, it is a super fun coloring book to color in with all the little fruits and vegetables with cute little kawaii faces on them. It is one of my favorites to color in. So we're gonna use this for this episode. So before we get started, I just have to introduce my new little coloring buddy. This is the happy clownfish. I just got him recently, seeing as how we moved to the coast of Alabama and everything is tropical and fun. I wanted to get a fun little fish that sits and watches me color. So this is my latest coloring buddy, and he will just sit right here and hang out with us through the video. Okay, so I have all of my colored pencils laid out. You don't have to lay them out if you don't want to. I just did it to make it a little bit quicker for this video so y'all don't have to watch me like sift through all my pencils and figure out which colors I want. And to begin, I think I'm going to start with the purple on this little guy right here. So what I like to do when I'm making things pop and add some definition is to start with a lighter color and then move into dark. And that way too, if you're maybe new to shadowing and adding those types of elements that make things pop and stand out, there's not so much risk because you can just sort of see if you like that spot for it. And if you do, great, now add darker layers. And if you don't, you can erase. There's erasers that take Prismacolor and stuff off the pages. So nothing's ever really concrete or finalized. You've got quite a bit of options that you can use. So this is just the Parma Violet, it's PC1008. And I think for him, I'm going to have the light source coming in from this direction. So I'm gonna do some shadowing on this side of him. So if light's hitting here, shadow's gonna be here. Well, that wasn't good. Let's try that again. Sometimes even the nicest coloring pencils just break. So let's try this again. So we're just gonna put some darker purple on the shadow side, and I'm not pressing very hard. I don't want to make this too harsh yet. I just kind of want to get an idea of where I want to put the shadow. And you can see already he's starting to stand out and pop from the rest of the page, which is good. That's what we're going for. Okay, so I like that. I think that looks good. Now let's amp it up a little bit, and we're actually going to use a bit of a warmer purple because this is kind of a warm purple and I used a cooler purple here, which is fine because that's not going to be the last shade of purple that I use on this little guy, but I wanted to use a warmer purple to just warm him up a bit in his shadow areas. So this is a Dahlia Purple PC1009, and it is one of my favorite purples. One of my favorite purples to color with, and you can see already it's adding that warmth back to this little character. Okay, and you might be wondering, why am I using multiple colors for my shadows? And really the answer is quite simple. It just makes them look more interesting. If I just use one, it's fine. If you only have one, that's okay. It'll get the job done. But the style that I try to go for is to make all of my pieces of the page that I've colored interesting. And I feel like if you do more than one shade of a color in the shadowed area, you're gonna get that interest, and it's just gonna be a little more vibrant and fun to look at. So I think I'm pretty much good with blending in this purple with the previous color. And you can see now he's even standing up off the page even more. And then I'm going to take this really dark purple. This is it's actually called dark purple, and it's PC 931. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of the dark right at the back of this little guy. And it will just help to amplify this shadow even more and make him really pop off the page. So this is actually 3 shades of purple to create this effect. And again, if you don't have 3 shades of colors to use, that's okay. It's not a big deal. This is just how I like to do it. Okay, so I think that's good. You can see he's already got some nice round definition. He already feels a little bit more 3D. So now let's work on this bottom section of this little guy. So again, if the light's coming in this direction, the shadow part would be on this side. And I'm coming in with a very light color. This is a French gray. It's a 20% French gray PC 1069. And the nice thing with French grays is they pair really nicely with warm colors. I have some warm grays in the Prismacolor set and cool grays. I definitely wouldn't use a cool gray on this page, but the French grays, it's kind of warm, but it also just has this really cool complexity to it that's, you'll see as we start working with it. I've got a couple different shades of this I'm going to use. It just adds a little something extra, and I really like using them, so that's what we're going to use for this little guy. And again, I'm starting with a very light color just to make sure that I've got all of my shadows in the spot where I want them to be before I really commit to some darker colors that maybe would be a little bit harder to erase if I realized that I got it wrong. And this is one of the reasons why I prefer to do my shadows and my highlights with colored pencil, because sometimes as you're coloring, you can just see it start to take shape as you're going through the steps. And if you put down marker for those shadows, you really have to be committed and feel like that is the right move, because there's not a lot of undo options once the marker is down on the page. Whereas with colored pencils, it's just very forgiving. And I prefer working with tools that are very forgiving because I might make a mistake. I'm not perfect. Okay, so the next one is a 30% French gray PC 1070. And I'm just gonna go back over what I just colored and darken it just a little bit. And then this last one is the 50% French gray PC 1072. And just like I did with that really dark purple over there, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So I'm not gonna color over all of what I shadowed. I'm just gonna do this bottom section because this is where it would be the darkest. Okay, that looks good. So now I'm going to move into this little stem on his head, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow there, and maybe a little bit of shadow here. All right, so I think that's it for the purples. I'm gonna set those aside, remove all of our French grays. And let's see, let's move into these greens. And first, let's work on this little stem of the flower. So again, if light's coming in this direction, then the darker side would be very thin, but it would be on this side of the stem. And then for the leaf, we're gonna just put it more towards the back of the leaf. Oh, and I forgot to tell you the color. So this is apple green and it is PC 912. This is my favorite green. This one and the next one I'm about to use, I go through these greens a lot because they're just wonderful and they do such a great job. They can make all kinds of things just pop and come to life, and they blend really, really well. So highly recommend that shade if you don't have it, or if you're looking just for a couple of greens to purchase instead of the whole Prismacolor set, then I would definitely recommend this one. And then this one is the dark green PC 908. So let's add a little bit of dimension to these leaves. Now I don't know if the camera can even capture this because this is very, very faint, but this is another reason why I like to do light and then dark, because sometimes you may not be 100% sure where you want a shadow, and this gives you the option to sort of play and experiment without being so committed. Okay, so now I'm going to take this dark green, this PC 908, and I'm just going to add a little bit of depth and dimension by layering it not entirely over the green areas that I just colored, but just to kind of make this look a little more curvy in certain places, and like the leaves kind of go down and come back up, and I can achieve that effect with this dark green. Okay, and then I'm going to go back with the lighter green and just blend some of the harsher areas a little bit, and that way the greens will merge together and just combine with the marker layer just a little bit more smoothly. Okay, and then we'll take the dark green and do the same things with this little flower. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm going to do the actual flower itself. Now for the flower, I'm going to use these Ohuhu Halawa pencils, and the reason being because they have a really nice set of yellows and oranges that I just haven't found in other sets. So I've just grown accustomed to using them. I absolutely love them, and so I'm going to use these to give this little flower some pop. So this is their dark cadmium yellow 125. And for that, I'm just going to, probably can't even see it on the camera, but in real life, this is actually putting down marks, but it's helping me decide where I want to layer the colors without committing so much. So that way, if I don't really like it, I can undo it. So the next one is the Saffron 22. I'm just going to go back over where I had the yellow. And even if the color doesn't show up much, if you're like, well, that was pointless because you can't really see the color, believe it or not, it's still a good idea to lay down a light color, because colored pencils, if they're decent quality, they will blend with each other. If I had just put this, what is this, the saffron down on top of this little flower without that yellow underneath, it wouldn't look as good. It would actually look a little bit flat unto itself. So by adding the yellow underneath, now I'm giving this saffron color something to blend with, and you almost get a new color, but it makes it look just more defined and has a nicer appeal to it when you layer your colors. So that's what I'm doing. All right, and then we're going to do this, what is this, bright tangerine number 122. And I'm just gonna go over these edges. And again, now this is blending with the other two colors that I just laid down. Okay, and then now we're going to take this light red number 34 and just ever so delicately add just a splash of it on these ends of the flower petals. All right, so that looks great. So now you can see this little character is no longer flat, looks pretty fabulous, is popping up off the page. And we really didn't do a whole lot. It was just a little bit of shadowing and, you know, letting the marker layer be the light and then adding colored pencil as the darker areas to make this stand out. Now, this little guy looks cute. Everything around him obviously still looks very flat and kind of boring, but there's something else that's missing. If you notice, the flower looks pretty cool. It's got some nice definition to it, but there's something that we forgot with coloring him. There is no shadow for the flower, and in real life, there would be a shadow because you have light coming this way and he's holding the flower out. So let's add that shadow. So we're gonna go back to grabbing our purples. And we want to remember we've got two different colors happening here, so we definitely would not put purple over here to create the shadow. We will use the colors that we used on this part for the stem on this part of his belly. So for this flower, we're going to assume that he's holding it really close to his chest. So we're just going to put a shadow right really close. So here I feel like it's at his chest. Here I kind of feel like maybe it's not quite flush with his chest, so there would be a little bit of a gap from where the shadow is and where the flower itself is. So you can see I've left a little strip of his original color there. And then we'll put some shadow on this flower. And remember how I said that with an eraser you can fix things? So I got a little crazy and I put some shadow here and I shouldn't have. I was just not paying close enough attention. So I need to actually erase that. So I'm gonna go grab my eraser and fix that so that way the shadow doesn't look so goofy. So I just have a Prismacolor Scholar eraser. I'm gonna get rid of where I put the shadow that shouldn't be. We'll just get rid of that. And usually it does a pretty good job getting rid of the shadow. It just takes a little bit of patience. There we go. Yeah, that's good enough. I'm just gonna clean up this little edge because I accidentally got rid of a little more than I wanted. And then we're gonna add the darker purple that will warm this shadow up a little bit. Now I'm not gonna add the really dark purple to these areas because this just makes more sense to have it darker versus this little stem. This would be a pretty soft shadow. In fact, I think I got it a little too harsh in here, so keep the color, but ease up on the intensity. And another great thing eraser is good for. Look at that, nice. Clean that up just nicely. Okay, so now let's do the same thing for the stem on the belly. We're just gonna draw this little stem shadow and then just ever so slightly darken it up. Okay, so there's one final thing that you don't have to do if you don't want to, but if I don't do this, I'm probably not gonna sleep at night. So you can see that with the French gray, it marred the black lines and just made them kind of disappear. And I don't like that. So I like taking just a regular old black PC 935 colored pencil and just coloring back over that. And so by doing this, it doesn't limit my ability to express myself when I'm using colored pencils, but it just brings back the crispness of the edges, which is what I like, and it covers it up over perfectly. Okay, well, I think we can call this one complete. So there we go. We took this little character who was pretty flat, and now he's got some definition, he's popping off the page, he really feels alive, and those are the types of things that I personally like to do on my coloring pages. So I will be sure to create more of these videos for those of you who just want to watch something shorter, quicker, that teaches you the fundamentals of how to take something that looks flat and make it look fabulous. If you like my videos, be sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.